All right, good morning, everybody. Let me actually make sure I've got scores and stuff on this time, as I am fully aware last time I had done goofed a little bit, but again, waking up on New Year's Day, so we'll make sure it doesn't happen anymore. But spawning in the top left corner of the map, it's a fresh best of 3. It's Terran versus Protoss, and most importantly, it's the green Startail player alive.
In the upper right, is the blue Protoss. It's Liquid's HerO.
Alright, so here's the fun fact about this one, guys. HerO and Alive were actually both invited to the tournament by James. Without him, we wouldn't have had either of these participants. So, that being said, I want to give a small thank you and a nod to you, sir, for helping us get hooked up with these fine fellas.
James raising the roof. Woo woo.
James raising the roof, but James, I want to just get you to move your mic down a little bit too. Before you forget. Thank you kindly, sir. Love you much. I just don't want you yelling later and getting all distorted and everyone's like, oh, my headphones, rip, rip, rip. But TVP is a bit of a funny spot. We've seen a lot of Alive, as I mentioned before, in the Elite League. He's been taking on Protoss players when and rarely they show up. But HerO is definitely the anomaly in the group. None of us really know where he sits as we got into the game. Mal, sorry, I keep forgetting. Mal had pointed out that he wanted that HerO was just finished moving into the MVP house. Maybe he hasn't been getting a lot of practice in. We don't really know where he sits right now, but it really feels like whenever it comes down to this matchup, TVP, regardless of the players involved, one person just always has a really nice grasp of it, and the other maybe not so much. I don't know if these guys are going to be on even footing or not, but I do hope we get that game that is a little bit more back and forth. And I really do like watching late game TVP engagements.
One thing to take into consideration is that was it 2 years ago? No, was it last year or 2 years ago? That these two guys were in the same team, but since they were in the same team, the meta has changed drastically. So it'll be interesting to see if they're gonna throw some mind games here and there, or just play out as how they normally play out.
Yeah, it took me a while to figure out what you meant, and you meant EG Liquid Pro League, right?
Oh, yeah, I was sitting there kind of a bit clueless, to be honest. I was like, I don't remember Alive being on Liquid. I don't remember HerO being on EG.
That's 2 years ago then, which, yeah, is quite a big gap. Of which, like, Alive, was kind of like, he was, like, kind of a mercenary more than a real teammate. Like, he was on EG for, like, 8 months or something like that, so he definitely was, like, EG, but he was specifically hired to play in Pro League.
Both Oz and Alive were hired just for the Pro League. Their contract was just for the Pro League, and yeah, that's why it only lasted for so short.
Yeah, which is too bad because they actually had some decent results. Like, I know they both got like either top 2 or they actually won a tournament. I forget who and who. I think like Oz won one in Asia, but anyways, yeah, they both had to go on.
Oz went runner-up finish against Revival at IM Shanghai.
Oh yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. This Alive actually isn't a tournament.
Wow, I usually have shitty memories.
Yeah, good job.
For all this good stuff.
Super helpful.
So the probe gets a pretty nice scout while this is going on, by the way. Sees the triple racks, but most importantly, I didn't even know you could hide a probe down there. Like, you could. I twisted the camera left and right. You couldn't see that thing for jack squat. So keep in mind, Protoss players, sneak a probe down there. Pretty useful hiding spot. But seeing that 3 racks definitely does not deter him from going for the Stargate. This does kind of surprise me a little bit. You see the 3 racks, there's going to be at least 6 Marines, but I suppose that if you have got the, combination of dedication and skill, you can still get some kills out with that Oracle.
Unless Oracle is just a fake and he goes into Colossus Phoenix.
I don't know. We did get a lot of Colossus Phoenix yesterday. First, and Myung-sik willing to bust out that strategy, but looks like HerO is just going to stick to his guns with the Oracle. The Oracle's got a couple of different roles in the game, of course, going forward. The detection, the revelation, that's all cool and whatever, but we see the best Protoss players able to just calmly use this thing over the course of 15 minutes. 2 kills at a time, 3 kills at a time, not getting too greedy, and eventually just killing a ton of workers as the game goes on. So it really depends on how HerO plans to use this Oracle. If he just goes for the burst, he's like, oh, I'll kill 7 workers, but I'll lose the Oracle. I never really see that being worthwhile. And as predicted, Alive does have a couple Marines waiting in that mineral line.
HerO just needs to reveal his Oracle to Alive and just keep it alive. Ha! Too many lives. but that's what he should be doing. I mean, saw the Stargate, so 3 racks usually turns into some sort of an aggression, but that aggression never came. So on one hand, HerO's decision of making Oracle wasn't such a bad idea.
Yeah, and he actually does 2 things with that too. One, he reveals the Oracle, like you said. Secondly, he actually kills the Reaper with it, which strips out scouting information from Alive. I mean, right now, Alive really has no idea what the transition out of the Stargate is. Does he continue going with some sort of weird gateway all in? Do we have the Forges, the Twilight Council? I mean, in some cases, double Forges. So, Alive's probably going to have to start scanning for that in some time. But the other side of this is, he's got so many Marines, if he does decide to push with stim timing into that natural base, especially with +1, quite frankly, he very well may tear down the Nexus. There's so much firepower here.
I think HerO might be looking into making Dark Shrine and Dark Templar right now because he saw the 3 racks. That usually means obviously that leads to a slower third, meaning less scan powers. Or he goes for Blink.
Yeah.
And I'm completely wrong.
I was really wondering about the choice to go to a Twilight Council after that. I mean, you can open up with Twilight Council for sure, but basically, eventually, you're supposed to get a Robo and go up to Colossus. And he's really, like, even further delayed that. Obviously, his Robo's only starting now. So, really depending a lot on that Oracle for his Revelation and, you know, any other scouting that he can do. Because, you know, without observers, I guess the only other option would be, like, to place proxy pylons as your scouting for drops. And it's going to become around that time when there's 2 medevacs, 4 medevacs, 6 medevacs, depending on how Alive plays it, where he's going to need to know where the units are, and he lost the Oracle, so... That's some scouting down.
That's a Marine. Oh, you want to get... He booked it out of there.
The 6th sense. He's going to get the scout. Done. No, he's going to miss it.
Kind of sucks. I mean, good predictions out of Alive. There are only certain positions on the map you can really make use of proxy pylons on anyways, but one of the biggest things about this being a Blink Stalker attack... Ooh, Hallucinating Colossus is kind of a cool move. But one of the biggest things about this is you getting caught off guard before you've got that critical mass, getting caught off guard before you've actually got units to fight with, and as pointed out before, Alive just has so many units on the field, it's going to be incredibly difficult to take a fight. With Stim with +1, I mean, as long as he... Oh, did he... Oh, the Colossus worked! I didn't think the hallucination would work, but
good
scared
thing
to take the fights, and this actually is a huge steal for HerO.
Yeah, Blink was just barely not done. He would have lost a lot.
Yeah, Concussive Shells would have claimed quite a few lives, but the Warp Prism... Following this up, definitely a good way to get some harass behind enemy lines.
It's still like surprise. Like, thank goodness that HerO has bought all of this time, right? Like, he scared him with the Marines in the base with the Oracle, and then he scared him to not take a fight with the Colossus, because otherwise he is lacking some severe splash. He did have a third option to buy time, which is of course those force fields. Like, the drop micro into attacking the naturals doesn't really help. Usually they just try and start dropping everywhere in the main, but really, Alive's been rather passive. Where, like, imagine if he had started attacking immediately, like a normal TVP, like the first foot overcharge, and then right into drops. HerO would have such a difficult time.
Army supply-wise, just purely, it was almost half. Like, Alive had double of what HerO had.
Yeah.
Now he's slowly catching up, but
it was quite a dangerous way to play, but HerO played it out smart, and I guess you could also argue that Alive played it out a little too passive, but
not lively at all.
Losing that one medevac is kind of a big deal, though. This was one of the situations where he got baited out by the Colossus. I mean, there was actual Colossus on the way now, but putting 4 Vikings productions at the time, you're not really going to have a lot of medevacs to work with. You don't keep building medevacs after you've seen Colossus most of the time, so for Alive's sake, losing even just that one medevac, that really hurts.
Yeah.
You should think about repairing the other medevac too, because the ideal counts you have is 4, down 1 already, and that other one's just 1 jab away from dying.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like HerO is going to attack. He has 6 gateways. I guess he's gonna expand behind it too. He certainly has enough money. Because, like, with charge and extend thermal lance, which isn't quite still done, you think that he's going to go into a macro game. I mean, definitely with a double forge and notice he put down. I guess he's just posturing on the map. It's so dangerous to see a Terran or a Protoss do this, but I guess with Blink Stalkers, you're allowed to. A little bit.
It's such a dangerous engagement, though. I mean, for HerO's sake, you can always do that thing we always see. Pick off one Viking, blink away. Pick off one Viking, blink away. And as you slowly whittle away at the Terran army, the engagement becomes much, much, much more difficult. But constantly sending 1 or 2 Marines off to the side, looking for these pylons, kills a couple of probes that have been meandering around the map. But big thing is Alive finally takes a third. He got really scared off by the hallucination early on, and that kind of sucks for him. There's a bit of an opportunity loss, but coming to the late game, he's got a really nice army supply value. He's got efficient army supply too, and this many Vikings. Those Colossus don't stand a chance.
Yeah, I'm really surprised HerO has not tried to expand yet. I thought like a minute ago was for sure going to be his time, but he's defending on through 2 bases.
Oh, sniped out the mothership core.
We got counterattack while this goes on. A couple of Zealots did get in from that pylon down there below, so this is going to drive off some mine. He doesn't kill that many SCVs just yet. It looks like production can't be up at the main. Should be able to deal with it, but on the other side of the field, he's going to eventually run out of force fields. I'm surprised Alive doesn't try to just shoot down those rocks and filter through, but at the same time, you got 3 Colossus waiting for you. It kind of makes sense that you don't want to possibly choke yourself out.
Yeah, and it's also down to the fact that once he deals with the War Prism or just the basic pylon harass, he's the one on 3 bases, and HerO's stuck on 2. Although HerO isn't just dilly-dallying on 2. He's not like, so nervous he's messing up his game. He's still getting, he got charged, and he's getting 2-2. Although, surprisingly not Storm. But it's just like, I'm looking at the minerals, right? And I'm like, what are you going to do? It's 16 minutes. Is it going to be a 2-base all-in? Or, like, a really late third? What's going on?
I think losing the Oracle and not really having a lot of observer counts, because the merry-go-around, the map itself is very good for drop plays and harassment. It seems like he was a bit paranoid with the drops. All the observers stayed near his base, and I don't think he could really calculate properly when to take his third and not.
Yeah, but it's like...
And if you think about it, I think not having third worked towards him as a favor, because if he had the third down, that would have died.
Well, 2 really big things are going on in the background of this. I mean, one is Alive never continued on this upgrade. He invested so heavily into this Viking. I hesitate to call it an all-in, but there's so many Vikings in play. The other part of it too is like, because of this, he doesn't have any upgrades. Like he's got no 2-2 on the way, and HerO through those force fields and HerO through this small counterattack of Zealots was all the time in the world to get his upgrades up over his opponent. So rather than fighting an even footing with a couple Guardian shields and +2 armor upgrades, it's gonna be very difficult for these Marines to get much done. Even Marauders, as we see, struggle to kill Zealots. The Vikings are definitely the strongest part of Alive's army, but I can't help but wonder if this could be overkill. I mean, 18 Vikings on 1 Colossus, there's gonna be some overkill. There's gonna be some wasted shots.
Maybe.
18's a little bit too many, but I mean, looking at HerO's got what, like 4 or 5?
4.
5 pluses, 4. You could always land your Vikings.
Yeah, I think it's an okay amount. Yeah, there's gonna be some overkill, but as long as he doesn't like have an absolutely atrocious position, I think that's okay.
Yeah, and it's better in a lot of pro gamers' opinion, and also in my opinion too. It's better to have more Vikings than less.
Yeah, that's
agreed.
True.
I was just pointing out that he's got a 47-something army supply lead over his opponent. A lot of that is in Vikings.
Yeah,
wow, demolishes this third. Ooh.
Like HerO took so long, to get a third, and you're right. Like he was obviously kind of paranoid of drops, but at some point you gotta risk it, right? Otherwise you're gonna fall behind in the macro game, which he kind of made up with all this harass. Like Alive actually not so much taking a lot of SCV kills until now, going up to 23. Before that he never really.
That's signature for you.
What?
That's signature HerO TVP moves, just with DTs at random, very late timings.
Yeah, it is really nice.
Well, this goes on though. This forces Alive out of position. Third base lifted. SCV's being pushed back, and this goes from a minor amount of harass to completely leveling the playing field. Yeah, he lost his own third, and that kind of sucks. And he drives Alive off of his. Now with the position on this side of the field, throws down a pylon.
And War Prism lift? No.
Oh, repair the command center.
Past tense.
Okay.
Oh, it was repaired.
Roll pylon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the pylon physically blocks the command center, so you can't just simply lift it back over. It's also a forward reinforcement point. It's actually a funny but effective pylon, I'd say.
Yeah.
Interesting third location from HerO, too. But what I wanted to bring up before that fight was that HerO never got Storm, right? Yeah, he never got Storm. He did go up to, did he even go to High Templar, or... Yeah, no.
They said he went for the Dark Shrine, because you know what they say, when behind Dark Shrine.
I suppose.
And he's slowly clinching his way back, so...
That's one thing he's going to be missing in his composition is storms, and well, a lot of Archons, I suppose.
Well, I think more importantly than that, we already have ghosts in place, so it's like you are playing from behind when it comes to that tech game. There's going to be EMPs going down top of the Colossus, on top of the Archons that already exist from the Dark Templar. I mean, these Vikings, if they weren't going to kill the Colossus 4, you throw down an EMP and they kill him even faster.
Yeah.
So HerO's army is looking to be in a bit of danger, especially as he does not have Templar in play. No feedbacks available, no storms available.
Yeah. He still has good upgrades, though. Alive, something he had to give up because he took so much damage at that third.
Yeah,
and
does he not have an armory? Is that why this never finished off?
Oh, you know what? That looks like be the case.
Yeah.
That's maybe he was gonna SCV pull like really soon, and then the DTs and Zealot harassment. Yeah, might as well do it now.
But it's only did it with 30. I mean, this is actually not that impressive of an SCV pull, but.
That medevac is huge because a lot of the medevacs he's got right now don't. Like, they're all drained out of mana, and he's got maybe like 2.
Energy?
Now it's down to 2 energies.
Oh.
Mana's energy, no?
No, that's Warcraft, buddy.
Same difference. Same difference, snobby grub. But
Yeah.
yeah, here go the Vikings for that fight. We're gonna see where those EMPs go down. No slick moves when you boost through the medevac, but EMPs need to go down if they're gonna go down at any point. There we go, top of the Archons. Pick off some of the sentries with that too. So we've done a lot of more force fields. And quite frankly, Alive's just got this overwhelming supply count. Not overall, but I mean, just as far as army value goes, most of what HerO has is over here harassing with Zealots, or up here to the north, just warping in. He doesn't have a lot to actually fight with his army, so going for the base trade is what Alive's going to try and force out of this. It might not be his worst choice.
I'm gonna be careful with those Vikings. Those Vikings, if they die, he still has a chance, I guess, to kill the Colossus, but...
The command center is floating and burning, so he's got no scans for this DT.
He has one more. Nope, no he doesn't.
I'll repair this. Orbital, he actually can't. He pulled all the SCVs.
No, that mule's trying so hard!
Alright, Orbital does die. Choking the natural, they're going to try and, I guess, dissuade this. EMPs can reveal the DTs. There we go.
Yeah.
So it takes out that last Dark Templar. Check out the Dark Shrine as well. So no more available. EMPs go down on top of all the sentries. I think only one remains with Guardian Shield. That being said, the Vikings still can't just haphazardly fly in here. He needs these so desperately badly.
Yeah, you can't replenish them.
Yeah, both players are
HerO?
pretty much cut out of production.
Yeah, well, HerO supply blocks. He actually has a couple of gateways left over.
It looks like the 2 Colossus on the left will fall pretty quickly. We'll see if this bio is enough. He is kiting the Zealots back underneath this while he fights. Viking's going to land on the ground, but I don't know if HerO's Alive's got enough.
Got Immortals,
Archons from the back.
DT's even in the fight. Oh, good game. Ladies and gentlemen, HerO holds and takes game number 1.